Get ready to feel some late 90s Sony PlayStation 1 nostalgia flow through your veins, baby. Get ready for it. I'm going to show you my top 15 PS1 bangers, but I'm actually going to show you 30 PlayStation 1 games because there were so many mentions I've got nostalgia for. Not necessarily because they're great games, just games I remember playing so much as a kid. I just wanted to show them. So I'm going to show a quick 15, 1-5, dashing through, just show you some nostalgia, share some stories, and then we're going to jump into my top 15 PS1 bangers. They're not necessarily going to be rare, expensive games. They're going to be common games, and that's why the games are so good, because they sold so well and did so well because they're great games. So you might only see one or two rare things in here. So if you're after very expensive games, this might not be the video for you, but I'm sure there's definitely a few games in here which are well over £100, because I know some of these have gone crazy, but there is going to be some standard basic bitch titles, as I like to call them. But yeah, I made a video of my top 10 PS1 games 3 years ago now. And I look back at the video and a lot of it's changed. The top 2 or 3 might not have too much, but a few games have come into it. So I did a top 10. So I thought, you know what, expand it to top 15. Because a few things changed. We'll make a bit of an expanded version, if I can get my words out. But also, I just want to show you some honourable mentions. So I'm going to go through the honourable mentions quickly. Space Jam, just because I had so much nostalgia. I did have the game as a kid. I borrowed it off of a friend. I remember lending him, I think it was Soul Blade, for this, and I loved it once the movie came out. I loved Space Jam, everything about it. So much nostalgia. It might not be the best game, but I had so much fun with it. Really, really enjoyed it. So when I got into collecting retro games all these years later, I had to get a copy of that. I know people might be disappointed with this, but everyone played sports games. Everyone did. And there were some that stick in your memories for different reasons. I could tell you a story about every FIFA, the changes from 94 up to 98, and then I kind of switched off for a few years. And then FIFA 98 was the one where I was a bit older, so I played even more of it. I remember playing so much of FIFA 95. But yeah, 98, 2 things that were iconic for me in this one. One of them was the indoor football. And also, second one was just the intro music. I would love to show it to you, but I'll get a copyright strike. But it was Blur Song 2, and it was just, they always do, even to today, they have the best soundtracks. But I had so much memories, and I got that with some football socks for my birthday from my mum. And just great memories of that game. So I had to, that's my favourite FIFA, probably, of all time. So I had to put it in there. And when the channel first started, it was, so before it was called Marathon Gaming, this channel was called Retro Gaming MTH a few years ago. And me and my friend and brother-in-law, Wayne, would play different games. We'd do like a series, do 10 games, go head-to-head, and hope it was close. That's sort of what we did. That's how the channel started. And that was one of the games that was picked. We just used to take in turns picking the games. We had good fun with that. Another honourable mention, Cool Borders. 1, 2, or 3. I've got loads of nostalgia for 1, but there's hardly any game modes other than Time Trial. But great stories of me and my sister playing it, and it was really cool music. Haven't actually got Cool Borders, but I've got 2 and 3. But the first one is pretty much very basic and trash, but I've just got good memories of it. People will be probably upset not to see Tomb Raider feature in the list, but for me, I wasn't a huge fan of it. It was more the game my sister played at the time. I wasn't really into platformers too much back then. Well, those sort of action puzzle adventure games, if you will. But I had to give it an honourable mention. Out of all of them, it's got to be Tomb Raider 2 for me. But yeah, I'm sure everyone's going to go on about locking butlers in the fridge and all sorts, but yeah, it's not in my top list of games, but I know it was a console seller and a fantastic game, and I have got all of them, all 4 that was on the PS1. So we had Chronicles as well, I think, didn't we? After 1, 2, and 3. Now this game has actually been rejected, demoted from my top 10 list 3 years ago, and that was Crash Bash. And I tell you what, I had great memories of playing it, and I thought it was really good. Couldn't wait to get it back again. So I remember a friend as a kid, Sam, had it, and me, Donald, and Sam would go around his, and we'd all play it and try and complete it. So I went back and played it a few years ago when I mentioned it for my top 10 list, and it gave me nostalgia for it again. And I started playing the game, and I just realised how monotonous it is. They make you do the same thing over and over again. There's 5 different things to do, and then they just change the level slightly. I didn't realise how much it makes you grind for little reward, especially to complete everything. And then a very, very big YouTuber, he's probably the biggest YouTuber in the UK, Cadicrus, if I've pronounced that right, he does videos literally once in a blue moon, once a month if you're lucky, but they're hilarious and they're very big, long videos. I remember a long time ago seeing him showing Crash Bash. It might have been all the Crash Bandicoot games, and he picked the floors out, and I was like, do you know what? You're right, and that made me think about it, and I was like, do you know what? I'm taking it from the list. Here's another game which this might have even been the top 10 list, just pure for nostalgia last time, and I loved completing this when I got it again as a retro game collector. Rugrats, man. Search a Reptar. Love everything about Rugrats, but I haven't actually played any of the games, I don't think, other than this one. I remember playing it with my sister Heidi, all the mini games and stuff. I remember completing it again as a retro game collector, and that for me, again, it took about, you can do it in one sitting in about 2 hours, but I still had fun with it. And that's just one I've just got to have, in the collection. Now, speaking of FIFA games, Championship Manager and the like were awesome. I didn't mind getting grounded at my dad's house when I was younger because I could sit indoors playing Championship Manager all the time. Such great memories. But there was actually some that went over to console, which were okay. Now, Premier Manager 98, I had such good fun with that. And one thing that makes me laugh with these games is, I don't know if you remember, I used to take, it says it there, 15 blocks it takes of a memory card. It says mouse compatible. Everyone says there's no mouse compatible games, that there is. Yeah, you used to take 15 blocks of memory cards. You had to get a whole memory card just for this, or you had to delete your siblings, your brother or sister's data, and they'd be fuming. You get into an argument. But yeah, great memories of that. I've said in the previous video, I want to try and get all the Warhammer games. It's going to be near damn impossible. I have to look at what a list is for that. But this is, I said before, you get like action ones, you get tactical ones. There's so many different genres of games, but this one, Warhammer Shadow of the Horned Rat, I really do remember this. And again, it's quite hard to find. I think this is one of the games that might not be on CEX. I'll tell you what, this is I didn't realise this. This is release number 28. See those numbers at the bottom of the case? That's its issue number. And obviously PlayStation, what was that, 97? And it ran for a long time, a big library. That's game 28. That's quite awesome. So you're really happy with that. And the box art on that, it's got the old school. If anyone is into like Warhammer, look, it's got the old school Games Workshop logo. It's not even called Games Workshop anymore. It's just called Warhammer, isn't it? The store. So that's cool. I know it's on everything, but I remember the dad getting us like a PS1 game, and I think he got this one for himself. I think it's the only time I've seen him try and play a game. He couldn't get on with it, but Soviet Strike. All the Strike games are really good, but this was awesome, man, the PS1. I'm sure it probably plays better on, it's probably on a Saturn or something, isn't it? But I know it's on everything. It's on Super Nintendo and stuff, Jungle, Desert Strikes, but Soviet Strike, man, did have great fun with that. Now, here's some games that need some honourable mentions, just for back in the day. Colin McRae and the original touring car racing, just for how good they were. Again, people probably be disappointed. This was in my top 10, I think, previously. Parasite Eve 2. I've relegated it. Deal with it, guys. Let me know in the comments if I'm a twat. And then games which you just got to have, because I remember lots about them, but they weren't necessarily my sort of games, but I had to pick them up as a collector. Tenchu 2, Self Assassins. I remember a friend, Scott, another Scott. There was about 3 or 4 Scots in my year, and he used to love this. More memories of being mates with him as a kid, probably. But yeah, so I bought that. And then I did very well with this. Metal Gear Solid. Again, I've got the trilogy now. I'll probably play it on the Switch, the remaster. I got this in Devon at a few years back at a charity shop, at a car boot sale. And it must have been like house clearing places, people. And they were just looking at things on eBay and stuff, and they were very fair. And I remember picking up a lot of stuff from them, like the original Mario Bros on the 2600. I remember picking up Atari consoles from them. They had everything, but they had things just priced, other than like things like that, like treasures. They like knew what they wanted, or you could haggle. But other than the games, it was like literally, like all games are £2. And I think they said all double disc games were a £5. And I was going to get it anyway, because Metal Gear Solid is worth more than £5. And I opened it, and I don't know if anyone is into PS1 collecting, but this is more of the one you want. It's got a Silent Hill demo, and I believe it's got a separate, on CEX, I think you get Metal Gear Solid, and then there's Metal Gear Solid with Silent Hill demo, like it's actually worth more. Just funny, isn't it? It's just a demo that comes in it. But Silent Hill may or may not feature later in the list. That I picked it up. I remember picking it up when it was getting expensive, and I thought, "Oh, being an idiot, I'm buying it. It's almost as much as the game." I think I bought it for like £40, and I thought, "Oh God, only cost that brand new when it come out, 40, 50 quid. And then about 2 weeks later, it went up to 60, 70. Then I watched it go to 90. And I think it might have even gone to over 100 now, which is ridiculous. And that's in the space of about 2 years. Right, I think that's all my honourable mentions. So I'm going to get into, that's 10 minutes, you're never going to get back from your life. I'm going to go, I've enjoyed myself. Right, I'm going to get into my top 15. I've got them stacked in order. I've made notes, but I don't need to look at it because I've stacked them in order like a good boy. Now, again, memories of this game. Die Hard trilogy. There's like a beat, like almost like an action beat 'em up game. There is a driving game, but it was a shooter one for me. Spoiler alert, I might do it separate, light guns. I haven't included Time Crisis 2, even though I've got the light gun pack and the game down there and CRTs in this room. But yeah, I just remember there was a cheat on there, big head mode. I might have to do, I've got some old cheat books. I've got loads. I've got loads of them. Look, there's an old Games Master one that some friends have given to me. And I bet they're in there. And I remember it was ridiculous. Just some of the cheats. And I remember playing that, me, Sam and Sarah, his sister. It was really good fun. Die Hard trilogy, that, yeah, the airport is just doing the same level over and over again. We probably didn't have a memory card or something. In fact, some of the early PS1 games I remember still being code that didn't use a memory card. I wonder what number that is. 445. Not as impressive as the Shadow of the Horned Rat, which has got to be the best title you're ever going to hear on a PlayStation. Next up, I've messed this up the wrong way around already. Right, number 14. It's going to be Soul Blade. Again, at the time we got this quite early doors I remember it being early doors on a PlayStation library to us, but it's actually game 577. But my sister, Karina, absolutely loved this game and we were taking turns playing it. And I think that we used to get a Guinness Book of Records for Christmas every year. And I remember there's a gaming section, it's probably huge now. I don't know if that book still prints, assuming it does, but it used to be just 1 or 2 pages. And literally it was like Mario Kart. There weren't many games. You get about 4 games featured, but Soul Blade was featured, and it was like how fast you could like complete the game or kill people. So we'd do that every time, but we was nowhere near. Obviously, it's a world record, and we were kids. But just great memories. Number 13, Driver or Driver 2. Take your pick. Do you remember how hard the driving test was at the beginning? Any driver game, I've said this in a previous video, 360, PSP, whatever console, pick it up because driver games are really, really, really good. You think GTA's got good, like, campaign, story mode, whatever you want to call it. Driver 2, there's some serious incentive in those games. Now, Tekken 1 was amazing. Tekken 2, Tekken 3, you probably say Tekken 3 is the best, but just riding away from the first one, being a bit of an underdog, and you're just hearing about it, do you know what I mean? A new series, oh my God, it's like Street Fighter, but different, blah, blah. And just loving it. And then, yeah, Tekken 2 for me. Nice double case as well. So that's got to be up there for me, which is number 12. Now, number 11, it doesn't matter which one you got. The original Grand Theft Auto or GTA 2 or the London one, just the original top down, man, where it started from. I remember talking about it in primary school. I do remember it. I remember a kid in the playground shouting out Dickwad, and probably the earliest attention I ever remember. Probably just facing the wall or missing out on playing football. Lee, his name was. I'm not going to call him out by his last name. But yeah, he had the game from his older brother or someone. And then I remember being around a mate's Jeff Rose when I was younger. A kid used to live in the village I used to live at, where I lived with my mum, and I'd go to my dad's at the weekends. And ironically, his dad's was up the top of the road in Westcliff. And I remember he had Grand Theft Auto. You know, you get like a cool dad who doesn't mind what games you play or doesn't pay attention. And I remember he must have borrowed it off someone and he gave it back. And we didn't turn the power off, lift the disc tray up, and we managed to play Grand Theft Auto. There must have been no loading screens. We played GTA for the whole day without a disc in it, just with it being taken out. I remember that until his dad turned it off when we was asleep. The old sleepover days. Right. Now, where are we up to? We are up to number 10. I've got Tony Hawk's Skateboard in my hand, but it's actually Tony Hawk's 2. I didn't realise I didn't have it or I've misplaced it. Because this was amazing. And I was really into skateboarding back then, like really into it. I was full in. Flame jackets, beanie, a lot. I was well into skateboarding. Everyone was in the village we lived in. We loved it. And it just came hand in hand. We used to watch all the skating DVDs. Well, VHS it would have been then. I remember Mike Valley. He used to do a big ollie. Kareem Campbell used to do the kick flips. I was more into the street skating than the vert like Tony Hawk's, but this had them all on there. It had all the big stars. Used to read Sidewalk magazine. Used to love skateboarding. Really loved it. Yeah, remember an Exile shop in Southend. Used to go get boards on there, and then used to rub the bottom off to make it look like you could grind, even though you couldn't. What a loser! But yeah, used to absolutely love it. And yeah, sorry, the second one got lost in my own faults there. The second one added in. I've forgotten what it's called. You know your link tricks. I've forgotten what it's called. But yeah, that motion of linking tricks, pressing up and down, and then you could get big score bonuses. That really changed the game from 1 to 2. Such a big leap. Now we've got some big hitters coming because we are in the top 10. This is number 9. Resident Evil 1, 2 or 3. I'd actually probably say 1 and 2 favourites for me. But I've gone for the second just because Resident 1, a bit like Tekken, they got so much hype, the first one. The second one came up and did the same thing, but almost a bit better, changed a little bit. So yeah, I've gone with Resident Evil 2. You might go with Nemesis. You might enjoy getting chased, or just the first one, just for the open scene, the mansion, and stuff like that. I have got all 3 of them, but yeah, I pulled out Resident Evil 2. Where are we up to now? We are up to number 8. This one I don't think was in my list before because I never had it as a kid. I just heard about it. Heard it was getting pricey. I picked it up, a couple of years ago, and then I was like, wow, it's really good. Basically a cool version of Worms, or a modern version of Worms. Hogs of War. So a bit like a turn-based 3D. I'm sure everyone who's watching PS1 these days would have played it or heard of it. But in case you haven't, it's a very, very, very fun game. And I wish I played that as a kid because I would have loved it. I've just played it 1 player. Haven't played it 2 player. It says on the back, smoke some pork. Here's another one I've messed up with. I say messed up. I haven't got the next one here. I've got them all. I should have pulled out the Switch. It's Crash Bandicoot, the original. You have 1, 2 or 3. I love them all. And my wife loves Crash Bandicoot as well. We played through the trilogy. Didn't really like the 4th one. We played them all again. Such good nostalgia. But the original first one, absolutely love it. I'm going to put on the screen so you can see. Yeah, Crash Bandicoot for me is number 7 spot. And then number 6. Have I missed out? I'll be back. Have I not grabbed the game? Nope. Stay there, people. Now, SmackDown was awesome, and it really was just the best story mode. It was really good. That's such a good era. SmackDown 2, then WrestleMania 2000, No Mercy take it to another level, and then Royal Rumble on the Dreamcast. You sort of saw it decline from there on for quite a long time. But yeah, man, the heyday of the Attitude Era, just awesome games. SmackDown was awesome. I think that Wyra chose the second one, as I remember. I think you could go backstage, which was quite revolutionary at the time. And I think they added text to the story mode. It really ramped the story mode up. That was like the best story mode I've ever seen in a wrestling game. Everyone was playing it. It got people into wrestling. Like, I remember I had like skateboarding mates and mates to play football with. And, they didn't cross over different things. But all of a sudden, everyone became a wrestling fan because of this game. This was like the must-play game of the year. This and Tony Hawk sort of thing. It was absolutely incredible. Old China on the front, Triple H, The Rock. Isn't it mad? 2 out of 3 of those are still around now. That is mental when you think about it. When I say still around, I don't mean breathing and living. I mean actually involved with the business, which is crazy. Next up, we're in the top 5. Now, I wanted to say Final Fantasy VII. I've misplaced it, so I've picked up Final Fantasy VI for reference. But I've been a bit cheeky. I've got 2 games here. Final Fantasy VII for me was like my first introduction to like a Japanese RPG, I think. I played a lot of RPGs, and you didn't even realise they were RPGs, but whatever the genre was back then. What am I trying to say? Suikoden, basically. I picked this up because Wayne, who I talked about earlier, he is like the RPG king, Japanese RPG king. He kept all his original games and consoles. His system collection's worth a fortune. I should do a games room tour around the sister's house because it's a lot more impressive than what's in this room. And he raved about this, and I got hold of a copy of it without a manual. But again, this is worth silly money. It got remastered, didn't it? And I know who loves this game. Someone loves this game. It slipped my mind. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people do. I was thinking of another tuber. But yeah, absolutely awesome. I'm thinking of Stu and I up in Scotland. He loves this. But yeah, Suikoden 2, absolutely awesome. But I haven't played enough of it for it to take Final Fantasy VII away, and obviously I've got a nostalgia, so I thought I'd stick those 2 together as like the RPGs. But yeah, that blew me away. It really did at the time. But we're in the top 3 now, and not a lot of this has changed. But I have made my previous video top 10. I've set it to private, just because I thought we just refresh it, and then in case anyone goes back and goes, "Oh, it's the same." It's the same. The top 3 might be the same. I'm not going to lie. Could be exactly the same, just slightly different order. I've forgotten another one again. This is top 4. Right, number 4, Silent Hill. Spoke about it earlier. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful game, and it's really, really fun. This one's really, really good. I need to play the second one. It's got remastered, didn't it? I still haven't completed this. I get, the tunnel bit where you go like underground. I get like sick playing the game. I don't know why. It's just like the jittery camera. But I love this. I can play it from the beginning every time. Like the first couple of hours I know so well. But I do need a cheat guide for it, like strategy help guide. A very in-depth game, but yeah, really, really funny. Absolutely, really, really fun. Sorry, absolutely iconic. Not funny at all, and it's just sick in the head and twisted. But yeah, everyone knows about Silent Hill. If you haven't got a copy of it, you need to grab it. It might come on a PlayStation Store one day. Who knows? Might get remastered so everyone can enjoy it. I'm not bitter about losing value on games. I'd rather people play them. So I hope they do remake it for everyone's sake. So I've forgotten number 3. Or saying that, I've lent it to someone, I've misplaced it. So I don't know where it is. I can just tell you about it. Medal of Honor, where it all began. F your Call of Duty. Medal of Honor was so good and so funny. Do you remember the opening scene? Like the American has dog biscuits in his pocket. I remember like Mitch talking about it recently in Retro Rummage. He mentioned Medal of Honor. He must have picked up like a cardboard sleeve one because he's doing a few videos like that lately. He must have picked one up for the PS2 or something. And it was, and he talked about it. And he was like, I don't know if it was Medal of Honor or if it was this or it was that. It might have been a Call of Duty game he had, but he said he had a memory. And I was like, put in the comments, I said, no, it's Medal of Honor. You know, when you storm the beach at first level, it was so cool. And like, even the multiplayer was good. Again, that featured on when the channel was called Retro Game and MTH, Me versus Wayne. That also featured on there. We played that. But yeah, I remember you used to take the ID of a German like guard and go across. It was really, really it's a solid game. It's so good, and it's got good humour in it as well. Like the opening video and the campaign. The campaign, the way it starts, it reminds you of GoldenEye. It's so on point and solid. Like for a game, you're like, right, you're in this game. Medal of Honor is so, so good and so underrated. I'm sure it is rated, but I feel like everyone's just forgotten about it. Like the Medal of Honor franchise, it hasn't kept its great name, but like everyone's going to buy Call of Duty, but not everyone's buying Medal of Honor. I don't know if they've just knocked it on the head. I mean, I can't remember playing any of them later on, other than the original. But yeah, Medal of Honor. I'm sorry I haven't got it out. I don't know what I've done with it, to be honest. It might have been nicked. I said in the previous video, I've had the odd game go missing from tradesmen, which is really disheartening. But it's replaceable, isn't it? Yeah, never mind. Right, top 2. This is exactly the same. If you're a long fan, fan of the channel, a long watcher of the channel, then you know what's coming up. Destruction Derby 2, baby. I still haven't played Destruction Derby Raw, but this game, radiator's blown. Just the system of it, right? It's a simplicity mixed with the arcade, with the simulation. It's a perfect hybrid, right? So you've got your normal racing, a few tracks, and then the last race of the season is like the bowl, where you just smash up the vehicles. And the racing's hard because you can't focus. You've got to focus on winning, but if you win without doing enough damage, it's no good. You almost want to be in the middle of the pack. And it's the last one to survive in the actual demolition derby sort of mode. I used to watch it as a kid, but it's closed down now, a local one. And me and Mrs. went there as well before it closed, like the last few shows. Stock car racing, destruction derby. There's a few local teams around my area. They're probably gone now because the arena's been knocked down. But I used to love it as a kid, watching it live and then playing it, buzzing. But yeah, they had like a season. You had different leagues. And it's about 5 leagues. It was easy to get the first league. It was quite hard to get out of that one. I could never get into like, the top league. So it's just really fun. You wanted to keep playing it and try and get up there. It's really, really fun. Very, very good game. Easy to get hold of, but difficult to master. That's what I would say. But yeah, if you've got to the top league, let me know. I still haven't managed to do it. That is just such a good game, man. And that's probably cheap as chips. Go and get it. Right, at the top, I've got about 30 copies of this game. That's an exaggeration. I've got 3 copies of this game, plus a rental copy, so I have got 4. And I used to pick them up when I see them because I love it so much. And I actually saw one on Vinted, like way cheaper than CX, but I was like, I don't need this many. You only worry you get disc rot. So basically, I looked for this game for ages for a good price, couldn't find it years ago. And then 2 come along at once, so I brought them both, then a third, and so on. Twisted Metal World Tour. It was creeping up in price. It's not anymore. So you can probably grab it. It's probably flatlined a little bit. So good. I've got original Twisted Metal. A series came out which probably spiked the price up a little bit, but I don't know if we saw it. But it's just so fun. I love car combat games. Wasn't a big fan of Carmageddon. I saw there was a Warhammer game today on the news, like a news page, saying there's like a car combat Warhammer game as well. That looked interesting. There's even a wrestling like car game like that. Any guns on cars, like any racing game, it's okay. Shooting game, it's okay. Put those two together. Snap a gun on your bonnet and I'm all over it. Well, right, that's not me farting. I don't know if you can hear that. The microphone picking it up. There's a guy outside with a drill. I'm sticking to that story. Right, that's my top. You've seen my top 30 PS1 games, basically. It's meant to be top 15. It's turned into a top 30. Let me know your favourites. What bangers would you have included on this list? What's in your top 3 or top 5? If anyone wants to do any video responding to it or tag me in, it'd be cool to see your own collections. But yeah, let me know in the comments if you enjoyed it and what your favourite games are. I'm Scott from Marathon Gaming. See you soon for another video. Bye-bye. I'm Mario. And I am the Hedgehog. And today, with this...